Hey guys, what if there were 3 stocks that could double your money by Christmas 2025? Well, last Friday, each one of the stocks we're going to cover today flashed a strong bullish reversal signal. And even in this weak market, on one of these, I've nailed a 100% return previously. So are you ready to cash in again? OKLO. You probably have never heard of this entity. However, it could be a big player in the SMR industry. But what's SMR? Small modular reactor. That's right. It's a nuclear reactor company. It generates about 15 to 50 megawatts, and they're perfect for big giants like Google, Tesla, data centers, and it's backed by Sam Altman's OpenAI. Citrus Energy is backing them. Right now, it's hovering down here, as you can see, about $19 and some change. But check out that really nice hammer that you see there. And this is how we finished the week, with a huge hammer. And the other thing that I want you to pay attention to is, where was that hammer at? Well, look to your left, and you can see over here on the weekly chart, it's right at past support. And so with a trigger like that, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for a reversal of my momentum that you see here. I use TSI and I use the market forecast as a momentum indicator. And as you can see on the daily chart, it's just about down in the lower reversal zone. Could go a little bit lower, but for right now, I have no problem looking to buy this down here towards the low. And the low on this one is at $17.80. Buy towards the low there. And then I'd put a stop loss down about, let's say 1665 to 1670, and just in case this didn't hold. But then if it didn't hold, I would want to be ready to go to rock into a new position on this. What's the upside potential on it? Well, if it just runs back to this past high right here, let's say I get in down here and it runs to that past high, guys, that's 71%. What happens if it gets back up to the past highs back here? Well, you're looking at 200%. Now, that, of course, is not a promise of what's going to happen, but those are some of the targets to the upside for OKLO. So here's some things to remember about OKLO. One, small modular reactor, generates somewhere between 15 to 50 megawatts, and it's designed for the big tech companies like Google data centers and Tesla factories. Technical setup, of course, is bouncing off that 1780 low, and then watch for some overhead resistance up about the 2085 level. And our key backers on this one are Sam Altman and Citrus Energy for the investors. So currently, 1980 is a potential reach, but I think it's going to stretch a little bit further than that, as we identified on the charts. Okay, next up is nanonuclear. I just love to say that term. That's NNE. It basically produces a micro SMR. So literally, the reactor could just be a little box that is delivered via truck or whatever. It could sit in the back of a pickup, or a little bit larger in the back of a semi. This is the one, it delivers about 1 to 2 megawatts, and it's for remote ops. Like, think about the SpaceX bases or Exxon rigs out in the Gulf. The Idaho National Lab and Mitsubishi Heavy Industry are really pushing this really hard. They like this technology. What's the charts telling us? And again, we are looking at a very strong candlestick. Again, look to your left and check it out. We've got a level of past support that is right here, which we kind of fell a little bit below. So that price level about 1892 is an area where we could bounce from that. It did drop below the 200-day moving average. What is its upside? And this is one of my favorite stories. Is I had highlighted this stock previously on one of our past YouTube videos, called it out when it was sitting down about $20. And one of the ladies in our Connect group, which we do for our church, this past week, she says, "Thanks a lot, Dennis, for that tip on NNE. And I go, well, I don't give advice. I just show the technicals. And she goes, yeah, I bought it at 20 and it ran to 40 and I got out. She goes, I wish I would have had more invested. Anyway, we also, with the Autopilot trading service, turned this into a really nice return last year, taking profits on the way up until we hit our, ultimate target of about 40 bucks. Now we've pulled back down into strong support. And is it going to bounce again here? I would be looking for a chance to buy anywhere down to 1907. It may drop a little bit below that. I would carry a stop loss no more than 2.5%, 3%, 5% at max below the low or below the point that you get in. One thing I like about buying in the hammers like this is that buying down there is a low risk entry place because you're so close to the place where you want to stop out. Because if prices drop below the low of the wick, that means this bullish reversal signal has failed. So it's time to get the heck out of Dodge. What's the upside on this one? And it runs back up to this high, or let's say it just runs back up to the downtrend line. Okay, that's 61, that's a 51%, a little bit higher. We're talking about 71. If it gets all the way back up to the past high, look at that, another 147% to the upside on that one. Will it go there all in one day? No, it won't, guys. So it's one of those to be patient on. And, this may, after things shake out on this, actually be a long-term winner and lead the market and potentially help lead the market out of its doldrums and its bear market status. Okay, so for this micro power play, again, this is a micro reactor. It's perfect for remote operations like for SpaceX or Exxon rigs. It is backed by the Idaho National Laboratory, Mitsubishi Heavy Industry for backing. So again, last year we crushed it from 20 to 40 bucks. And at the same time, we're having the same type of setup that we had last year. Okay, here's RIOT, RIOT. This is a crypto mining company. And guess what? They use a lot of power. So who knows? Maybe there could become a connection between OKLO and RIOT. It has a 700 megawatt Texas operating area where they do their mining. BlackRock, Vanguard hold stakes in this. Right now, it's hovering down there about 1714, and analysts are calling for a move back up to 950, which is a nice, would be a nice move, but it'd still be below the 200-day moving average. There's a higher target on that, back past towards the old highs up here, back around 14 bucks. With RIOT, again, I've laid in this level of past support down at 636. And anywhere in how do you trade the hammers? Well, one of the things, you got to know how large is your hammer. I want to go down here, and that's about 10%. If I proceed to jump into a trade about the midsection of the tail on this hammer, about 674 all the way down to 640, then carrying a 5 to 6% stop loss on this would be an appropriate thing to do. What's the upside? Well, let's take a look at a couple of these numbers. Let's say we get in at the middle and it ran up to this past high here. That's 30%. What happens to run up to the next high? Well, that's 83%. What happens if it does get up to 14 bucks or around 14 bucks? We're talking about 110%. One of the things with RIOT, it does seem to get in a pattern and stay in the pattern and just run up really, really hard very quickly. As you can see over here on see these zigs and zags as it's been making its way across, going back to April of 2023 on this weekly chart. You can see it's been zig and zagging between, I'll say down here at this low 641 up to about 14 or a little bit higher than that. Excellent from the aspect of swing trading. Here's the rest of the lowdown on RIOT. 100% potential, yes. Targeted about 14 bucks by the end of 2025. Requires a lot of energy, 700 megawatts in its Texas facility to do all that mining of the crypto. Technical setup, yeah, we've got a hammer with a low about 640, breakout area 719, And it's got some really good institutional backing, being BlackRock and Vanguard. Price is at 1714, down 43% from year to date, but it's showing this reversal pattern similar to what we caught with NNE last year. The last thing is my goal is 100%, and could there potentially be an OKLO high in the future? Okay, so here's the question. Will OKLO, NNE, or RIOT be your 100% Christmas story? Can you imagine getting that? Wow, what can you do for your family with a nice return like that? All three of these have really great hammers show, and that could be a strong reversal. And that was on this week, April 4th. OKLO's volume, NNE's past performance, where we lopped onto the 100% move earlier. And all these hammers or these reversal signals and past price action show that these could move significantly 100% by the end of the year. They've done it before. And so if the economy does shift around, and let's say we come out of the bear market fairly soon, these could be an early winner or early mover with that. There's your key levels to watch. And then buy on breakout above these resistance areas or on the pullback into the tail of the hammers. Okay, guys, so this is how we trap the trades with the Autopilot trading system. We react and take action when we have a reversal signal at support. My TSI, that's the momentum indicator that I primarily use, is clearly starting to flip back around, or will be flipping back around from the lower reversal zone. And so I look for one setup, one trigger, and I just repeat that over and over again. So, I've done it before. And so leave a comment. What's your pick? OKLO or NNE or RIOT for this week? Like, sub, and let's stack it.